Well, hello, everybody. This is Jim Graham, and I am really, really excited to be able to share the information you're going to see today. This is a really special webinar. In fact, it's the first time I've ever done a webinar with a webinar expert that does webinars for literally the entire marketing planet. I mean, she is known worldwide as the one to go to when you want to do webinars correctly. And this is why I have you all here on this call, because when it comes to making money online, absolutely webinars are the fastest and easiest way to do that, even if you don't have your own list, and even if you don't have your own website. You can do it very, very quickly and easily from webinars. All you have to have is a product. You can even have an affiliate product and do a webinar that's not even on your product and make money as an affiliate as well. But let me just tell you a little bit about Taryn, and then she'll go into some more details about herself as well. I met Taryn, let's say 2 to 3 months ago at a seminar in San Diego. And, you know, I'm one of those guys that goes into a room. I was speaking there. I'm kind of quiet and just do my own thing and want to help people that are in the room, you know, attendees. And what was interesting about Taryn is she wasn't really an attendee. She was kind of part of the process, and I didn't really quite understand her role in the seminar. But over the weekend, we started talking some more and more and more. And what I found is that Taryn has done over 15,000 webinars over the last 15 years. Now, I just have to say, I don't know anyone who's ever done 15,000 webinars. And when I found this out, I was like, oh my gosh, this is someone that people need to get to know. Now, not only has it been 15,000 webinars, now I do a few webinars sometimes in the same day, but she's actually managed 50 plus webinars in one day. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I am really not worthy, because she comes with this incredible credibility with clients such as Frank Kern, Ryan Deiss, and many, many other top marketers around the world. Her Rolodex is thick with the top 100 marketers worldwide. And these are all her clients for one very, very specific reason. She gets results. On top of that, over the last 15 years, she's created over 150 million in revenue for her clients. So I said to Taryn, I said, look, you've got to share what you're doing with my friends, the people that I know, because you're doing it for the top guys around the world. I'd love for you to help my students as well. So Taryn, are you here?
I am. Hello, hello.
Awesome. Welcome to the webinar. Welcome to the webinar, Taryn. Now, you know, I know this is kind of old hat for you, but let me just go through a few little rules to help everyone here on the call so that you understand what's going to happen. If you have any questions at all, go ahead and ask those questions in the chat box, and we'll answer the questions at the end. So we can do that. The other thing is make sure you have some water. Make sure you have a pen and paper, because notes would be really good with this webinar. I actually got to see the PowerPoint, the real PowerPoint just last night, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is good stuff, Taryn. But anyway, so Taryn, are you ready to take it away? Hello, Taryn. Are you there?
Ah, there.
There you go.
Yeah, you.
There's a little bit of a delay, but anyway, go ahead and take it away.
Alrighty, I will. Well, hello everyone, and thank you for joining us. This is, I'm excited. This is going to be so much fun. So, the easiest and fastest way to make money in 90 minutes, as we say, fast cash at your fingertips. So, as Jim was saying, my name is Taryn Ashley, and you know, he kind of covered this already, that I've been in the webinar and online marketing industries for 15 years. Been supporting my clients in making over $150 million, you know, 50 webinars in a single day, being able to do it all from home. And I have no schedule and the freedom to work when I wish. And you know what? This is all thanks to webinars. As he also mentioned, I've got some amazing clients, you know, like Frank Kern and Ryan Deiss. But now on to the good stuff. So, how many of you would like to know how to make more money in 90 minutes than you can in 1 year? Well, you are in luck. You're in the right place to find out how. So today, what I'm going to share with you is how to create an emotional slideshow to get more buyers, how to create a winning presentation that will make you more in 1 day than you could make in an entire year. Also, how to leverage your time by sharing instead of one-to-one, having you sell 1 to 1,000, as well as how to set up your business so it's running 24/7 while you're not. So, all right, to cover some what I like to call real life statistics. So, as you can see in the chart here, in 2007, it took about 3.8 cold calls to reach a prospect. And now in 2015, it takes about 8. So as you can see, it has gotten a lot harder to reach a prospect in the last 8 years. Also, when people watch a presentation such as this one, if you'll notice, 63% of the viewers watching a presentation remember the stories over everything else. And about 5% remember statistics, and then you've got 30% of the rest. And then also, when it comes to people making purchasing decisions, one thing that's really, really important to remember is that, as you can see, 70% here in this graph is that a majority of your audience, your viewers, your potential customers, they are buying to solve a problem. So that is one thing that's extremely important to focus on when you are presenting, when you're creating your presentation, and when you're putting everything together to really try and speak to your audience. And this is, here's more proof that webinars, they're not going anywhere. This says 55% of webinar registrants viewed the webinar recording, which means that you have not only people watching these webinars live, but 55% of them are also watching the recordings. So this is a great piece of information to let you know that one of the things that you need to be doing is not just doing webinars, but also recording every single one that you do and putting it up for replay so that your viewers can watch it again. Because a lot of times what people will do is even if they might be listening very intently to your presentation, they're going to miss a few things, and then they're going to want to go back. And this just sort of solidifies your message more, as well as increases the opportunities and the percentages for you to get more buyers. Also, 65% of audiences are visual learners. Another great statistic to let you know that webinars needs to be in your toolkit when you're in business. 52% of all marketers found a customer via Facebook. This is great because this tells us that when we're doing our marketing for our webinars, definitely one of the things that we, as I say, a tool in our toolkit for marketing for our webinars is getting on Facebook. And here's another big one. Companies will be spending $135 billion on digital marketing collateral this year. So, like I said, it's just more proof that webinars they're not going anywhere. And if you are in business and you want to make money in business, you need to implement them into your business plan. So I want you to picture this: making more money in just 90 minutes than you would, let's say, over the next 6 months, and having more time and more freedom to do the things that you want to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you the easiest way to create an emotional slideshow to get more buyers. So, you want to think about this is, let's say you've been working for somebody else and just as you say, doing all the grunt work, making an hourly wage, while the company that you're working for is making all the big money. And your bosses can take their families on those wonderful, fantastic vacations to exotic destinations while you're stuck at a desk doing the grunt work so that they can come and go as they please. And so you're wanting to make a shift in your life so that you're not trading your time for dollars. And, you want to get yourself out of the endless and unfulfilling Groundhog Day that you're trapped in. So the traditional way was working with someone one-on-one. And that does not work anymore. You know, and I have to ask, you know, I'm sure that there are several of you on here that are used to this. You know, you go and you do networking and, you know, you become a fabulous networker, but it hasn't made really any money, maybe a little here, a little there. But like I said, you know, that's the old way. Well, the new way is when we talk about reaching out to 1,000, making better use of your time. So I want to talk about this and how you do this. So in webinars, you have to create a compelling slideshow that fills your viewers with emotion. And, you know, to do this, the best way to do this is by sharing a story. So for instance, you got to think about things like, what's the problem that you're solving, and who's your target audience? Who is it that you're speaking to? What kind of problems is your target audience having? You know, you want to describe these challenges in detail. And also, you want to start talking about your story and your history as well. So remember, the lower the low, the more your sell, because what you're doing is you're tapping into those pain points for your viewers. You're touching on that nagging pain that's been bothering them for however long. So now I'm going to uncover the way to create a winning presentation that makes you more money. So when your presentation is structured in a certain way and it contains the right pieces, you will absolutely have a formula for making money for yourself time after time. So here's an example. Let's say this product has to do with Microsoft Office, and say, you could say, oh, you know, I was so confused, and every time I had to go to Google to look up on how to do something, you know, I was extremely frustrated because it took me 20 to 30 minutes every time to try and figure out how to solve this problem, and it was so frustrating. So I figured, you know what? I can't continue to waste time trying to figure out how to use Microsoft Word. So what I decided to do, let's say, and in this example, is create this cheat sheet that I'm going to have all the shortcuts and figure out and find online related to Microsoft Office, and so that I can save more time. And then, you know, you would say, well, how many of you have had the same problems that I had, which, you know, was you can't remember the shortcuts when doing this, so on and so forth. So let's say, okay, now I've discovered a pain and discovered a solution. And so here would be a great example of a presentation to put together to sell this. So you've got your Microsoft Office, the quickest and fastest way to producing amazing spreadsheets without remembering all the details. So one of the first slides would be, you know, your name and your photo, and then also the who, what, where, why, and how of you. So example, I've worked with Microsoft Office since 1985, and I've helped small and large companies to increase productivity through my simple steps and shortcuts, saving the average business person over 200 hours a year working with Microsoft Office products. And then you say, you know, my clients are global and I work from my laptop. I conduct weekly group training webinars and also consulting. Then you would move on to what you're going to cover. So, and your different talking points. So you would say, you know, I can't remember those shortcuts, searching Google for the answers, bothering your coworker, embarrassed to ask a stupid question, and, you know, generally frustrated. So then what you want to do is you could share some, let's say, insider secrets. And as you can see here, you've got all these different formulas, and you could put them on different slides and really make it sort of a meaty presentation. And then also, again, sharing more tips. Again, these, in this example, these could be put on different slides so they don't clutter up just one slide. And you can go through and share all these different things that you have discovered. And then also, you go on to this, an example like this, you say, all right, do you think these strategies could help you save time and money? And then you want to get in your viewers, get them to use their imagination and say, okay, so imagine being the Excel guru amongst your peers, your Excel spreadsheets, wowing your viewers, saving a huge amount of time, having more time to do the things that you want to do, and best of all, having fun. So then what you want to do is you want to share with them, you know, how they could either continue doing it the old way or move on to the new way. So you say, I've just shown you a glimpse of the available strategies, shortcuts, and tips. And the fact is, you could keep doing it the way you've been, wasting time. Or you could continue searching online, or you keep asking your peers the same thing over and over. Or you could do it the easy way. And then you want to ask your audience or your viewers a question and get them, as I say, pulled in a little more. You say, okay, who would like to have this information at your fingertips? Just a click of a button. Well, here's my solution, the Excel one-click shortcut. And you want to list all that your product includes. So for instance, here, the lifetime unlimited access to membership area, value of $9.97. You've got your iOS and Android shortcut app, you know, value of $4.97, the monthly group webinars, a value of $9.97, and the Facebook private groups, you know, value of $9.97, all which totals up to be $3,488. And then what you're doing there is you're stacking and building the value of your product so that when you go on to the next part of your presentation where you present them with what it's actually going to cost them, they really see it's almost like a no-brainer type value for them. They like, well, the return on my investment is going to be so much bigger than the money it's going to cost me. And that's definitely one of the things that you want to do is build the value so that people, it's clear to them that what you're offering and the value that you've put together is just phenomenal, and what it's going to actually cost them in dollars will save them so much more. So, you know, you go to your page where you present the price. How many of you just have $47? Then, you know, pay $47, you're in for life. And the other thing too is when you get to the close part of the presentation, make sure that you put the URL at the bottom. Absolutely, positively, don't forget that. So now you can see how simple it is to create the emotion to appeal to your audience, describing a problem, and then providing a solution that everyone wants to buy. So here's an example of a before and after working with a client. So the example that I'm going to give you is basically when you take a non-converting presentation and making it a converting one. So if you notice here in these statistics, do you see something happening in this graph? Right where the red arrow is? What you notice is the interaction and the engagement with the viewers drastically drops. You know, you've got, what this translates into is not much interaction and not that many sales. You can see here something, as we say, bad happened. So I would definitely say that probably what happened is in that presentation is that the viewers, you lost the emotion with them. And when that happens, a lot of people lose interest, or they click off, or they go and do something else. You don't hold them captive with your presentation. So what you want to do is, if you make just those few tweaks, you see here after what happened, making a few tweaks to the presentation, really making sure that you have the emotion all the way through the presentation. And you see here, there's a substantial difference in the viewer interaction and an increase in sales, right? You know, you got 30%. And so with here, this is what I call a pretty graph. You've got a lot of interaction, you've got your audience held captive, and this is going to translate into better results for you. So now that you understand the difference between potentially making minimum wage or less, wage or less, or making big money. So now that I've shown you the before and after results, let's talk about how people to a webinar. So in order to sell 1 to 1,000, one of the best ways is obviously to invite people to a webinar. Go to Facebook and create an event, and then invite people to that event. You want to make sure that you create a Facebook ad, and then what happens is those people will register for the webinar. And then another thing that we really want to impress upon you is the benefits of doing a webinar. So you've definitely got the ability to do it from home or anywhere in the world where there's Wi-Fi. You don't have to go into any office or what I call cubicle. You're able to leverage your time, and you can exponentially increase the amount of people that you can reach in, quote unquote, one sitting. And it is a very automated process. Actually, with webinars, it's really the most automated business online. And, quite frankly, you don't need a website. Let's say you're just starting out and you go, oh, well, I can't do webinars because I don't have a website. I don't have anywhere to send people to. Well, don't let that stop you. And, you don't even need an email list. See, you can do it from the convenience of your own home in the comfort of your own bed. No, but seriously, this is probably a little bit more what it would look like. So I want to share some tips with you. For a successful webinar, make sure you, first of all, always start on time. I've had so many clients make the mistake of starting the webinars way too late. You've got audiences, your viewers, that are excited about what you're going to talk about. They show up, and the longer you make them wait past the start time, the higher your chances are that you will lose people. They'll just drop like flies. What you want to do as well is have at least 2 hosts on at the same time. And the reason this is a good idea is because inevitably Murphy's Law loves to come in at the most inopportune times and cause trouble. So let's say you're on your webinar as the organizer, you're doing your presentation, and suddenly the webinar platform that you're using or your internet connection, something goes wonky and you get kicked off. Well, if you're the only host/organizer on your webinar, then what it's going to do is it's going to end your webinar. And basically you are going to be dead in the water. So if you can have 2 hosts/organizers logged in at the same time, and let's say, God forbid, you get kicked off or something like that happens, you don't lose your entire audience. All you hop back on and keep sailing from there. And then the other thing too is when you're doing this is to make sure that they are on different internet connections and streaming from different rooms. Again, because obviously if it's your internet connection that kicks you off, well, then having 2 hosts on/organizers that are on the same internet connection will be absolutely useless. The other thing is be prepared. What I like to tell people is mentally prepare yourself for what you're about to do, because this is the difference between winning and not winning. And another one that may sound so silly, but I tell all my clients this, especially the new ones, that since people cannot see you speaking to them, they only have your voice to go on. And the best ways to convey a more upbeat sound in your voice and convey sort of that happy disposition is actually smile while you're speaking. I know it sounds so silly, but it makes all the difference in the world. And I tell you what, your viewers can actually tell. Another thing is you want to engage your audience with questions, and also by mentioning names of those online. So let's say you've got Mary who asks, well, how can I figure out this formula in Excel, and how would that benefit me? Or Joe says, well, I've only just started working with Excel. Is this product right for me? So when you do that, people people really feel more interacted. They feel actually like they are having even more interaction with you, even though they're not speaking directly to you. They feel more drawn in to your presentation. So again, interact with audience, clarify problems, and also touch on, what stops your viewers from getting the results they desire. Another tip is, 90 minutes is kind of like a happy medium for the highest conversion, and that'll be about 100 slides, give or take a few. Also remember, before the webinar, you want to be able to, you want to make sure that you communicate with your participants by email to ensure that they arrive to download the GoToWebinar, or like we're using tonight, Webinars on Air. Maybe they haven't used it before, and you've got to just install the plugin, that type thing. Make sure that they've got that taken care of. Also, you want to make sure that it's the right presentation with the right offer at the end. That's extremely important. And also, another thing you want to do is make sure that your sales process that you've set up is actually working. With the autoresponders, the buy now buttons, the whole kit and caboodle. And then after the webinar, make sure that you have properly ended it. Don't say anything or change your screen until you know that it has ended. I've had so many clients feel that they have ended the webinar when they haven't, and they click off their screen and they go to their email and they're checking their email, and now their entire audience can see that their wife has reminded them to pick up some turkey on the way home, or whatever it is, or they see personal information, or they start talking to one another after the presentation is over, thinking no one they can hear them. And that, first of all, you might say something that you don't want your audience to hear, or it just, might be embarrassing. And also, what you want to do is you want to save your recorded webinars in a safe place. Amazon S3 works well. I definitely recommend it. We use it even for inner office type things. Amazon is high capacity, low cost. And then also, for successful webinar, make sure that you absolutely don't come to your webinar before you have gone to the bathroom. If you try and run to the bathroom and come back, and let's say you've got a guest on and they're speaking and they call out to you or whatnot, and you're not there, and your audience is wondering, and they get distracted, and some people might think that, they've lost you, and they get disinterested and they hop off the webinar. Also, be sure not to use animations, lots of transitions or moving images or words in your presentation. What happens is they end up taking up too much bandwidth, and really ruin your attendees' viewing experience, because what happens is it comes through as very, very choppy, typically, on their end. Because, see, one thing that you're dealing with during these webinars is a lot of different variables. So you're dealing with your internet, dealing with your viewer's internet connection, your computer speed, their computer speed. And let's say you've got this you had created and you want everybody to see. I honestly, I wouldn't recommend playing it on a webinar, because the wow factor will be lost. Also, don't clutter your slides with too many images and words, because this becomes confusing and distracting to your audience. What you want is your audience focusing on your message. You want your audience focusing on the content that you're delivering. You don't want them focusing on all the cool pictures that in images and graphics and so on and so forth that you found in your stock photo account. That's not what this is about. This is about the message and the content, and keeping your audience focused on that, because they can become easily distracted. Also, make sure that your audience is always muted. This can end up creating a lot of background noise and distract your viewers, again, from your message and the presentation. As well as, make sure that your audience can't see the other viewers' questions and comments as well, because what some people end up doing is they get what I like to call squirrel syndrome, and they start focusing on, oh, what's this person asking? What's this person asking? Versus focusing on what they should be, and that's your message and your presentation. In addition, make sure that you don't have any noises going on in the background where you are, as this can distract your audience as well as you, or get you out of the groove of your presentation. So make sure that you turn off your phone, Skype, any chat programs, make sure you have all notifications turned off. And never do a webinar from a mobile phone or tablet. When this happens, you lose your audience and your sales. And also be sure to not send your audience anywhere outside of your webinar until it's time to give them the URL to buy or sign up or participate. Because I tell you what, once they leave, you've lost them and your sale. Also, never do your webinars in the sun, because you could overheat and possibly burn. You don't want to do them in the wind, because this will create a lot of background noise, as well as your audience probably won't be able to hear you as clearly. Remember, the other thing too is extremely, extremely important, and I try and stress this to all of my clients, is that you always want to log into your webinar at least 15 minutes early so that you can check the audio, the video, make sure all guests or speakers that will be joining you can get in as well. Because I tell you what, if you wait to the last minute, and you wait till last minute to log in, and your guests wait till last minute to log in, and either one of you end up having problems with your audio, your video, whatever it is, then what's happened is you've created this unnecessary stress for yourself right before the webinar, and you're trying to hurry to fix the problem, and you don't have enough time, and now you're worried you're not going to be able to start, and it is what happens is it creates this sort of bad snowball effect. So at least 15 minutes early to log in. It's something that it's a procedure for us, and over all these years, that it's one thing that you just have to do. So now you know the most important rules of conducting a webinar. So let's turn this live ATM machine into a passive ATM machine. So what you're about to discover is the incredible power of having your business run 24/7. This will give you a whole new perspective on life. You'll be able to see all the possibilities, and know the right pieces to put in play, and no more chasing your tail. So you can accomplish all this by recording your webinar, uploading it to Amazon S3, and having it ready to go for Live. And this little box, this is a huge one, definitely. So now that you have your webinar recorded and it's converting, now you have something for replay and Live. So what is Live, you ask? Well, in a nutshell, you will be plugging this fantastic little box into audio in and out, and when you press play on your video, the audio goes into this box and converted back into audio and in on your computer. And so that when it's playing, the audio is separate. And I have to tell you, this is what all the big guys are doing. And now you can also do it as well. And I tell you what, this is why I've done what I've done, over 15,000 webinars over the last 15 years, because I am able to do it live. So you have a passive way of making money in the future. So it's recorded, it's ready to go whenever you want to run it again. Now you can have JVs and make money from their lists passively. So now you also have two ways to make money now, which is live webinars and live webinars / replays. So I want to ask you, how many of you can actually see the value of being able to do webinars live and live, so that you can have a real and passive income 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? So the ultimate tip, though, I have to tell you, is you will not have real or passive income from your webinars unless you actually do it. And I tell you what, you don't have to have a face for video, you can have a face for webinars because there is no camera needed, just a computer, your voice, and PowerPoint or Keynote. So I want to ask, would it be okay if I showed you how I can help you even more than I have today? So, how do you know that my program will work for you? Well, we've got Ryan Dice, who has been, as you can see here, he's been using our services as long as he's been doing webinars. And we've got Brendan Burke, who made $6,500 in 90 minutes. So I tell you what, you can do this all yourself. I've just shown you all my strategies, which is how to create an emotional slideshow to get more buyers, how to create a winning presentation that makes you more in 90 minutes than one a year, how to leverage your time selling 1 to 1,000, and also how to set up your business to run 24/7 with like lives. So, but the fact is that there is no comparison to the benefits of my program. Now, if I could make this entire program extremely affordable to own, who would be interested in getting involved? So I have to say, because you made the effort to be here, I'm going to make it today. So raise your hand in the little box if you would be interested in the easy way. So it's webinar formulas. Here is what you get with webinar formulas. My converting template so that you can create a high converting presentation, how to create a winning webinar, how to use PowerPoint and Keynote, and how to use Camtasia to edit, render, and get your videos ready for replay or like live, how to use ScreenFlow to edit, render, and get your videos ready for replay or like live. Also, how to set up a GoToWebinar account, how to schedule the webinar, how to use the GoToWebinar, and also how to generate the necessary reports after the fact. Also, how to get a domain for your webinar registration page, your sales page, and to run your webinar like live. How to get a WebEx account, how to get a webinars on air account, how to set up an autoresponder, how to create a converting sales page, and also how to use Infusionsoft with your GoToWebinar account. This is a great little trick that once you know it, you'll love it. Also, how to use Amazon S3 to host your like live, how to use YouTube to host your like live, how to use Vimeo also to host your like live, as well as Wistia to host your like live. And also how to set yourself apart from your competition. Extremely, extremely crucial. You've got a lot of noise out there, and you want to be able to make sure that you stand out above all of that white noise. Also, how to set up profitable JV relationships. Once you know this and once you figure this out, you will thank the day you learned it and applied it. I tell you what. Also, how to position yourself as the middleman for easy profits, and how to position yourself as an expert even if you're not. Also, how to create a product from your competition, how to white label your product for extra profits, how to create your own online ATM machine paying you around the clock, how to create a database in just a few days. And if you see here, there's 5,185 people registered for a single webinar. Pretty amazing. Also, how to use all the social media platforms to get targeted traffic, what you must know about merchant accounts, also how to set up your own webinar system, and the blueprint for generating what I love to call limitless income. Also, the 5 top performing recorded webinars that have generated my clients millions and millions of dollars. Also lifetime access to the Webinar Formulas membership area, monthly group coaching calls, also a private Facebook group where you can interact with other Webinar Formulas students and interact and ask questions and share experiences with one another. Also, one-on-one coaching, what I like to call 3 easy steps. Also, how to create a money-making membership business that makes thousands of dollars a month in residual income. That should be music to your ears, residual income. We all love that. Also, how to be an expert in your niche and get paid for it. So, to review again, you've got your how to create a winning webinar, how to use PowerPoint, edit, add, delete, how to use Camtasia to edit and render and modify, how to use ScreenFlow, how to set up a GoToWebinar account, how to use GoToWebinar for starting and running and everything in between, and also how to generate reports. These alone have a value of $2,779. Then you also get the how to set up the domain for your sales page and your landing page and to run your Live, how to get a WebEx account, how to get a Webinars on Air account, how to set up autoresponder account, how to create a sales page, how to use Infusionsoft to go to webinar account, how to use Amazon S3 for your Lives, how to use YouTube for your Lives, these alone with a value of $3,176. Also, you've got the Vimeo for your Lives, how to use Wistia for your Lives, and how to set yourself apart from your competition, how to create those JD relationships that can create amazing profits for you, how to use Google to market, how to position yourself as a middleman for easy profits, how to create a product from your competition, and how to white label your product for extra profits. Again, just these alone, a value of $3,176. Then, we've got more. It's the driving traffic to your webinars, how to create a product from experts, how to create a database in just a few days, how to use Facebook to market, how to use LinkedIn to market, how to use YouTube. Important things to know about merchant accounts. Again, this has a value of just these alone, $3,176. Also, the how to set up a PayPal account, how to create a buy now button, how to set up your own webinar system, that blueprint for generating limitless income, the proven webinar formula used by the globe's top marketers, also how to create a money-making membership business that makes thousands of dollars a month in residual income, and how to be an expert in your niche and get paid for it. And these alone, again, a value of $2,779. You also get your one-on-one coaching, which in and of itself, that value is $39.97. You've got the template to create a high converting presentation. That alone is worth $1,997. The lifetime access to Webinar Formulas membership areas, again, that value in and of itself is $2,997. The monthly group coaching calls, $997. And the private Facebook group, again, with a value of $997. And again, just these, you've got a value of $10,985. And then we've got the special bonuses for you. This Live interface box shipped to you with a value of $397. Another special bonus is this ebook on how to make money in 90 minutes, what I like to call Taryn Ashley's 90-minute online ATM machine. And that has a value of $397. So all of this, everything that you get with a total value of $26,865. So how many of you have $497? Well, then plus 5 easy payments of $497. And I want to ask you, how many of you would like an even better deal than that? How about just a one-time payment of $2,997, saving you $493? Again, we've got the how to create a winning webinar, the how to use PowerPoint to edit, add, and delete, how to use Camtasia to edit and render, and all the fancy stuff to your videos, and how to use ScreenFlow to edit and render and modify, and how to set up a GoToWebinar account, how to use GoToWebinar for starting and running and everything in between, how to generate those reports. Again, the value of $2,779. How to get a domain, how to get a WebEx account, how to get webinars on air, how to set up an autoresponder, how to create a sales page, how to use Infusionsoft with your GoToWebinar account. Also, how to use Amazon S3 for your Like Lives, and how to use YouTube for your Like Lives. Again, a value of $3,176. How to use Vimeo for your Like Lives and Wistia for your Like Lives. Setting yourself apart from your competition. Also, how to create JV relationships and how to use Google to market, and how to position yourself as the middleman for easy profits. How to create a product from your competition, how to white label your product for extra profits. Again, these alone with a value of $3,176. How to drive traffic to your webinars, how to create a product from experts, how to create a database in just a few days, how to use Facebook to market, LinkedIn to market, YouTube to market. And important things to know about merchant accounts themselves, a value of $3,176. Also, how to set up a PayPal account, how to create a buy now button, how to set up your own webinar system. You get the blueprint for generating limitless income, also the proven webinar formula used by the globe's top marketers, how to create a money-making membership business that makes thousands of dollars a month in residual income, and how to be an expert in your niche and get paid for it with a value of $2,779. And then you've got the one-on-one coaching, which is in and of itself $3,997 value. The template to create a high-converting presentation, that has a value of $1,997. Then the lifetime access to webinar formulas, the membership area, has a value of $2,997. You've got the monthly group coaching calls that have a value of $997 in and of themselves, and the private Facebook group, which is a value of $997. This totals up just in of itself to $10,985. And then you've got your bonuses, the Like Live interface box and that special ebook. That has a value, those two have a value of $794 together. Again, with a total value of $26,865. So again, how many of you have $497? And then 5 easy payments of another $497. So also, I want to ask, would you like a even better deal than that? Again, you could just make a one-time payment of $2,997, saving you $493. So I want to say, don't let money keep you from achieving your dreams. Don't let it be your roadblock. Don't let it get in your way. You need to, as I say, get out of your own way. Join us on for the coaching. Learn what you have to. Speed up the learning process. Don't stumble and fumble and bumble through it all. I have to tell you, a mentor of mine years and years and years ago said, you're going to spend more time and money trying to figure it out yourself than just going in and getting help. And that all your mistakes are like seminars, the one big seminar. So all the mistakes you made. So you're going to end up paying for it somehow. Why not increase your learning curve and speed up your process to your goals and take action now? So
wow, Taryn, that was really, really something else. Guys, if you have any questions at all, go ahead and put them into the chat box, because this is the time for questions. I am already seeing some in here. So you ready for some questions, Taryn?
Sure.
Okay, cool. All right, so tell me a little more about this special box, because I've never heard of this special box before until meeting you.
This special box is what I like to call the magic. This will allow you to do your Like Live webinars, this will allow you to have those recorded webinars that you've done and play them time and time again without having to, let's say, do the same exact presentation over and over and over again. So it's going to save you a lot of time and energy. That's, like I said, that's what I like to call the magic.
Yeah, right. So once this webinar is recorded, and let's say it's a converting webinar, then you use the Like Live box, which is literally the viewers have no idea that this is a recording, right? They think it's actually live because the voice comes in separate from the video, right?
Correct. So exactly. So your audience, what they're seeing on their end is they feel as though you are actually giving that presentation live in the moment, like you haven't done it before, and it's not a recording. So their experience is that it's real time.
Real time, and that's why you call it Like Live. Now, when I met you, I had never even heard of a box like this, and this has been one of those super secret things that is the reason why you've done these 15,000 webinars over the years. It's this like Live box, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what
Yeah.
you're saying is you're going to provide this box with every single buyer so that they can do these Like Lives on their own, right? This is included.
Yes, it is included.
And this is something you just can't go buy off the street somewhere. They're not even there. I searched up and down. I couldn't find it. And in fact, I don't even know who makes the thing, but you showed it to me. It's like, oh my gosh, this little box is the magic of 15,000 webinars and why you've done it for all these top marketers around the world. Okay, so here's another question here. So Taryn, if I join your program, what's the next steps?
Well, the next step is to get in the membership area and watch those first initial videos and really what I like to say, dive in and get you started on the process of teaching you everything that you need to do, watching those videos, getting your presentation created, and really at the end of the day, getting you to where you can be doing webinars and making money.
Great. Thank you for that. Okay, so here's another question. Are you selling this Microsoft Excel product?
No, I am not.
So it's not available?
No, it's not available.
But maybe somebody else wants to sell it and you already have the presentation for them.
Yes. Yes,
Wow,
exactly.
That's brilliant. Here's a product, guys. If you don't have one, you can actually have a presentation ready-made for you, ready to go to sell this Microsoft Excel Shortcuts product, even with a logo.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so here's another question I'm seeing here. How long does it take, Taryn, from start to finish to go through your program in order to have a webinar ready to go to actually start selling?
You know, I'm going to give a disclaimer. It depends on the time and the commitment that you're willing to put in. So if you dive all in and you do what you need to do, then you know, gosh, I would say as quickly as possible. But if so don't drag your feet. Don't let life get in the way.
Great. Okay, cool. And then the other thing is that this template that you give students, will this template, they can literally go get started right now in PowerPoint or Keynote and start creating their slideshow right from this template?
Yes, exactly. It's sort of like almost like fill in the blank.
Great. Okay, super. Okay, so here's another question. Okay, so I have my product ready to go. I'm selling a book. And can I sell a book from a webinar?
Can you sell a book from a webinar? Well, you can. I would not focus on a book, but yes.
You wouldn't focus on the book just because it's a low price, right? And it's just, you'd have to sell thousands of them to make any money. Right. But you could sell a book from a webinar, right?
Correct.
Okay, great. Now, if you don't have a product, Can you help in that side as well with helping to create a product?
Yeah, we can absolutely help you figure out something because I know that there we've got several people out there that they know they wanted to get into webinars, they know they want to do this, and they go, okay, great, but I don't have a product. We can help you with that as well.
Okay, so here's another question here. This comes from one of our students. This is normal, right? Because Taryn, our students, we do it all for them, right? Will you do this all for me?
Yes, we can do this all for you as well.
Okay, so and that would be a different price than the 2,997 or 497 times 6, obviously. And if you're
Yeah.
interested in that, just put that in the chat box. If you want it completely done for you, then Taryn can follow up with you there and get that worked out. Because obviously, if you don't have the time, don't have the knowledge, and don't really know how to get started, but you want to get going right away, done for you may be the option, right? But so the 2,997 is where Taryn's going to work with you, right, Taryn?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so it's work with you. You're going to do some of the work because obviously you've got to create this compelling slideshow. You got to create the emotion. This has to be your story, not Taryn's story. So it's working with you together through this process. It's kind of like a journey, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yep. Awesome. 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 Okay. So the other thing is that, and again, I know your last slide says, hey, look, don't let money get in the way of your progress. If any of you just can't quite swing the 497 times 6, please just put your email address in the chat box and Skype, and Taryn can certainly give you a call back and contact you about that as well. But, really, this is designed, there's a lot of work that goes into creating your webinar, and some of you have been doing webinars or have seen other webinars being done. It's not like just snap your fingers and away you go. There is a lot of effort and a lot of work, but the payoff is much, much higher. And so, Taryn, can you explain to everyone on this call what it's like to do 50 webinars in one day?
What it's like. It is like a three-ring circus. No. um, it's pretty intense, but I tell you what, since I've been doing it for as long as I have, I say, it's no problem. But it takes a lot of careful planning and execution.
I can imagine, and you have staff that obviously helps you with this. I couldn't imagine doing 50 webinars in one day by myself.
Oh,
You
right.
kind of have some people, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about the process a little bit more, right? So those that click the Buy Now button and join us and get started today, you're going to get some emails, right, Taryn? So the emails are going to come out, and it's going to give you the instructions to go log into the membership area, and then there's going to be some forms to fill out as well, which is to make sure that Taryn and her team knows exactly what you're trying to accomplish with the webinar, right?
Yes, exactly.
Great. Okay. And then from those forms, that's going to trigger some more action steps, which is then going to be the template. You're going to be able to download or view the videos inside the membership area and go ahead and get started. And then there are going to be some live coaching calls in addition to the monthly group webinars and the Facebook group that's private, that's only for the members of webinar formulas and so on, right? That's all included.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you could just go through the steps real quickly. Step 1 is obviously click the Buy Now button. Step 2 is watch for the emails coming through. Step 3 is log into the membership area and upload the form to Taryn and her team. And then step 4 is start watching those videos and get going. And then you're going to start getting more emails and contacts from Taryn for the next steps after that. But that's really how it goes, right?
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. But gosh, you know what? I'm still seeing that there's a little confusion over this magic black box. Here, guys, let me explain it a little bit better to you. Okay, so when I do a webinar like this one here, it's live. I actually have to be somewhere on the internet, and I actually have to do it live, right? We're recording this, but when it's like live, what happens is there's a computer somewhere, and all somebody has to do is literally press the play button on your recording, and everyone on the other end thinks it's live. They think it's live. They have no idea that it's a recording. They can't tell that any play button has been pressed because the audio and the video is separated just like it is in a live webinar. That's the magic of this. In addition, don't correct me if I'm wrong, some of you may want to do teleseminars as well, and this device connects to the phone line as well, does it not?
Yes, it does.
So you can do teleseminars as well, along with like live. Now, here's a question. I don't have a product of my own, but can I do webinars for others as a business?
Absolutely, you can, because there are other people out there that, they have a product and they're either not getting the exposure that they want, or they, quite frankly, have no interest in actually getting into the whole webinar space. So, approaching those type of people and, creating some sort of partnership, that's a perfect way to go.
So literally, you could do webinars for other people for a fee or a percentage of the sales. They don't have to touch it. You do it all, even like live, and make money overnight on their products and services because you did the webinar, set it up, and got it going, right?
Yes.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, so there's another question here. I have a Mac. Will all this work on a Mac?
Yes.
Awesome. And we're assuming it all works on a PC as well, right?
Yes.
Is there any special software that's required in order to do a webinar?
No, not really. I mean, you've got, obviously you have to have PowerPoint or Keynote, and just your webinar platform of choice. But unless, I say unless you want to record, but I'm going to say you need to be recording each webinar, then you can either use, like, for instance, webinars on air will record it for you, but then there are other platforms where I wouldn't really recommend using their recording options. So using something like Camtasia, that's a good investment.
Mm-hmm. So Camtasia or ScreenFlow for your editing of the video, and then when it comes to you got to have Microsoft Office or PowerPoint, which costs money, or on a Mac, Keynote comes for free on your Mac, so that would be the free way. And there's also some video editing software on a Windows PC as well. I think that comes for free. I don't know how great it is, but we know that Camtasia and ScreenFlow work the best, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So when you tell me this, Taryn, when you're doing a webinar for one of your big clients, what's it like? Is there this pressure that's going throughout the 90 minutes? What's it like when you're right there with them while they're doing this webinar? What is it like?
I actually find it extremely fun, because you're supporting them in getting their message out, in reaching their viewers, and being just interacting with the audience and making sure everything's running smoothly. I find it fun. That's why I've been doing it for as long as I have.
And there's a lot of satisfaction when you're helping others to help others, right? Because that's really what you're doing.
Yeah.
Here it is, Frank Kern or Ryan Dice or one of these other guys that you're working with. They're out there. They love helping other people, and you're helping them help more people. That's all it comes down to, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, guys, put in any other questions. I don't see any others here at the moment, but let's see if anything else comes on through. Don't hesitate to ask your questions. This is the time. I can tell you this. Taryn has only worked with clients on a direct basis where she's doing the recording and the managing of the webinar. This is the first time she's actually branched out to actually help others, help entrepreneurs, small business, large businesses, to actually do webinars, because she's just done so many of them. It was like her time. This is time to help the little guy as well. And this is your chance for $497 for upfront, just to get you started, and $497 and 5 more payments, or $2,997 one time. This is your chance to take advantage of this right now. And she doesn't work with very many people. I mean, your Rolodex, while you've got big clients, it's not like you work with thousands of people. This is a very specialized market, and it takes a lot of time, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Absolutely. And I have to share with everyone is that in leading up to this and saying, okay, you know what, I'm just going to jump in the pool. I'm going to put this product together and, share with the world and so on and so forth. With these bonuses, I tell you what, the bonus of that special little box, I have to tell you that over the years, I've had clients try and pay me thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars just to know that one little secret. So, you talk about getting value. Quite frankly, that's priceless.
And you're giving that away, right? This is coming
Yeah,
included, right?
yes, and
Not
yes,
even your clients have this box, yet you're
correct.
including it here because this is the empowering part, right? You're
Yes,
empowering every one of your students to be able to do this like live, which in the past you were only doing them for others.
right. And I tell you what, I would not share this information in the past. I kept this very, 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 very close. So the fact that I'm actually sharing it, I'm sure some of my clients would say, "Oh my gosh, pigs are flying."
This absolutely changes the game because what's happening is that now everyone that is a student of yours will have this unique advantage that only up until today has been an advantage for just those top marketers. That's it. And it
Yep.
was these were your clients. They didn't even have the box. You're actually including the box.
Yes.
Gosh, I feel like it's like a remote control that's going to open up my life. I can't wait to get mine. It's like
Right,
a whole
exactly.
new level of channels opens up, or a whole new level of freedom that in the past I would struggle to go get internet and go to here and go to there. In fact, my voice wasn't doing so well the last few weeks, and guess what, guys? I didn't do any webinars. I couldn't. But now with Like Live, I can do it no matter what, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, Taryn, do you have anything else to add at this time?
No, other than, you know what, I look forward to working with those of you that have joined us today, that have raised their hand and said yes. And like Jim said, you just this entire program, the information that you're going to learn, like I said, even this great little box in and of itself, you talk about, return on your investment. Without a doubt, all of this all put together, you will be able to definitely, if you apply it all, make your money back in your investment 10 times over at least. All you got to do is just take action. And I look forward to seeing your success. I get excited about that. So
Awesome. That's really, really great. Well, thank you, Taryn. Thank you guys for being on the webinar. I look forward to seeing you when you get into the members area because I know I'm going to hear all about it from Taryn. Again, thank you so much, everyone that was on the webinar. I hope you enjoyed and learned something from this webinar, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Alrighty, everyone. Bye.